Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chartwise Women. I'm Erin Swenlin from DecisionPoint.com, and I am here with my friend Mary Ellen McGonagle from MEM Investment Research. How are you doing today, Mary Ellen?
Oh, I'm doing well. Yes, we were talking about how last week we had our big bulky sweaters on, and this week it's in the 80s and sunny. And I have to say, when I log into my computer, for some reason I get New York weather, and it's in the 30s.
Well,
I
that must make you feel good anyway.
Oh my gosh, I feel for that East Coast, and I'm sure the middle America is feeling it as well. So
Yep, we're blessed to live where we do, I must
true,
say.
true. On days like
Well,
today.
yes. Well, today is going to be a lot of fun. Today, we're going to be talking about our anchor point of ETFs, exchange traded funds, and how you can use those a lot of times to buffer your portfolio from some of the volatility that you might experience in the market, or by investing in just one or two of the stocks that are within that ETF. So by having that basket, it tends to help you not only diversify by owning a lot of stocks, but it also can protect you from the volatility. When one stock has a big swing, then you have others that don't swing quite so much. Do you like using ETFs, Mary Ellen?
I do, absolutely. And we can really only need to look at the communication services, XLC sector. And we had big winners, names that were up, Snap up 40%, but then Facebook dropped 26%. So we're seeing these huge price swings, not everywhere, but in enough places so that if you do have this basket of securities, you're still participating. Right now, I think it's a very exciting period in the markets. I'm going to share with you some ETFs that are just starting to turn. So, yeah, and ways that you can participate without having to go in and dig and research all of these.
Right. It's also kind of a great way for beginner investors to get involved in the market because, again, by owning a whole bunch of stocks that are within that ETF, it does, like we were saying, when you have swings like what you're talking about with Snap and Facebook, it does, when you look at the sector ETF, it didn't go up 40% or 20%. You get to not experience those swings. And so a lot of times, beginner traders will often use those ETFs. And I think that they're a great vehicle, whether you're a beginner or not a beginner. But Marianne, let's go ahead and show a few charts so we can kind of discuss sort of how you can trade those ETFs, find those ETFs, and also find the holdings within those ETFs, which I know you're going to show us.
And yes, so what I'm sharing with you here is from StockCharts.com. You can go directly to their sector area and then ask to see a candle glance view. Now I can just pop back here and share exactly how you do that. You go right into the sector summary from that first page. And then down on the bottom here, there is a sector candle glance, and it's going to show you each of those sectors. These are all ETFs that you can invest in. They represent the 11 sectors in the S&P 500. So that's what I wanted to share with you quickly. But from here, I am going to share with you some ETFs that I follow very closely. I tend to traffic in faster moving, higher growth stocks. And so what I'm sharing with you here is IHI. It's an ETF for medical devices. We can go back from last year, this June into September period. I was able to capitalize on this move, subscribers to my MEM Edge report, because we were holding some of the top names in this IHI medical devices. These are going to be faster growing stocks. Now, very quickly from here, I thought I would share with you one of the ways that you can uncover what the top holdings are in the event that you want to get into that area. So what I like to do, it's very easy, free of charge. You can go right over to Yahoo Finance, put that ticker symbol IHI in there, and then ask to see the holdings. From there, it will provide you with those underlying top stocks that are heavily weighted up here. Abbott Labs 12%, Thermo Fisher another 12, and so on. So very useful. But let's get back to the chart. So here we are with IHI. You can see it really sold off. This is all about this move away from growth stocks. Interest rates are on the rise, inflation as well, and growth stocks tend not to fare as well. But take a look. We are seeing a nice, sharp V-shaped recovery, up another 1.8%. Now, I'm going to see and pay very close attention to how this particular ETF behaves because it's going to run into traffic. Up here, this 200-day simple moving average is the blue line. The red line is your 50-day. So if we go back to other downtrend reversals, for me, I got into this group when mid-June, when this index broke back above these simple moving averages. So we will run into a speed bump here, but let's just take a quick look. I'm going to share with you a couple of interesting stocks. I shared with you those top holdings. MDT is 10% holding here. And we can see with the group, it actually sold off a bit more. It began its descent earlier than the broader group did. However, we are seeing what could be a double bottom formation, or at the very least, higher lows. Today, the stock is breaking above this 50-day simple moving average. Take a look, that RSI just popping up into positive territory. And then we can see your MACD. This is your moving average. Convergence, divergence, black line up through the red, which indicates that this near-term downtrend is reversing. So from here, there certainly are other names, but I did want to share with you other ETFs at this juncture that are on the move. And again, pretty exciting, but you are going to want to make sure that the overall pattern of that group is constructive. Here we are with VanEck Vector's Semiconductor ETF. SMH is the ticker symbol. Another high growth area that got hit with the markets, but it is in the throes of reversing. A lot of bumpiness along the way. But again, I'm going to want to see how it does here up at that 50-day simple moving average. If we can trade above it, similar to this reversal back here in early November, we could be on off to the races. The RSI now up there in positive territory. Take a look, that black line up through the red on the MACD. So we are getting some positive characteristics. So from here, let's take a look at a couple of the top holding. And subscribers to my MEM Edge report will know I do have one stock as a buy on my suggested holdings list. This one is not there yet, but it is NVIDIA, big heavyweight. NVDA pulled back to this 200-day simple moving average and is potentially reversing. Erin, do I have time to do another?
Yes, I would say so.
Oh, good. Super. So let's go ahead and take a look because there's a lot on the move. But again, I'm going to be looking at those ETFs that are showing the most promise and have certainly growth prospects in front of them. So here we are with JETS. This is Jets airline stocks. Take a look, a little volatile here, but they are on the move. Certainly this week, we can see it's now breaking up above that 200-day simple moving average. A couple of characteristics taking place among airline stocks this week. We did have a merger where Frontier bought SAVE is the ticker symbol. Let me see. But there was
I am too.
Spirit Airlines was bought out. So merger activity driving that, but also we are seeing travel stocks on the move this week. Ryanair came up and came out today, as a matter of fact, Irish-based airline, and they said that they are seeing traffic and higher than pre-pandemic. So a lot of people on the move here. So we can take a look at some of the heavier weighted stocks in this area. This is Delta Airlines, DAL, poised to break out of a base here. So really any number of these stocks in this area are on the move. One last ETF that is potentially in the beginning stages of turning, but really has quite a bit of work to do. This is XRT. Retail just fell out of bed. High inflation is certainly one of the reasons, and we can see it higher lows, potentially bottoming. So from here, just a couple of names for you to keep on your watch list. It's KMX, is CarMax, really just came sold off down about 44%. Nice double bottom, potentially reversing. So you'll see a lot of names similar to this in that XRT and well worth keeping them on your radar screen.
Yes, I think those look great. Now I'm going to show kind of a different way of going about it and finding some ETFs that you might like. So let me go ahead and share and let you see those. So Mary Ellen, you talked about being on the homepage for StockCharts and finding that sector summary. You can either find it over here, or you could find it down here if you've got your panel open for the sector summary. And you can click there, and that's one of those ways you can get to the sector summary with that candle glance right there. And you'll notice my candle glance looks a little different than Mary Ellen's. And that's mainly because I first of all set it up, but I like to have my style. I want to see my PMO. I want to see certain EMAs. And so I set up a candle glance chart style. If you want to do that, just set up your chart exactly how you want it on the workbench, and then save that chart style as candle glance. If you want my candle glance style, feel free to email me at erin@decisionpoint.com. I've been sharing it quite a bit lately. So that's one of the ways you can get to those sectors, but you may not know you can get a panel called Scooter Reports on your homepage on StockCharts.com. Then you can go over here and click Top Up. So this is the StockCharts technical rank. It's telling you what kind of relative strength it has amongst its peers. And in this case, we're looking at large caps. So these are the Scooter values and the change in that value for all of the large cap stocks. These are the big movers to the upside.
Now
if I want to know what are the top, if I want to know what are the top 10, I can click here and I can see what are the top 10 large cap stocks based on that StockCharts technical rank. But one of the things you can also do is do it by industry and do it with ETFs. So I'm going to do it with the ETFs so that you can see what those are that are doing very well. Notice XLE right there in that top 10. You can see IEO, oil and gas. All of these shouldn't surprise you. The energy sector has been doing quite well, so I would expect to see all of these in the top 10. But what I'm really interested in are the ones that are improving. And so I go to this Top Up and I can see what the big movers are. I've been watching uranium closely, and you can see it has a very high Scooter rank. PSI is another one with a very high Scooter rank. But one of the ways you can kind of discover what's going on, you can, of course, hover over the symbol, or we can go back to that candle glance. And now we have all of those top 10 movers, Scooter movers, if you will, on ETFs. So I can get a really good read onto where some of that strength is. And two of them that caught my eye right away. One is Breakwave, dry bulk shipping, but this is a fairly thinly traded stock normally, but you can see really high volume coming in on this giant move right now for Breakwave dry bulk shipping ETF. But you can see that 5-day EMA crossing above the 20. You can see it trading above the 50 on that gap up. So I thought that one looked pretty interesting. Global uranium is another one that I've been watching. Let's see if I can't get that chart to come up. So it has had quite the pullback. It's in materials, obviously, and materials kind of faded from the scene in January. We were already seeing some weakness coming in November, but now you can see a really nice move to the upside. We almost have here flat tops, rising bottoms, and that is a bullish ascending triangle. And then also notice we're now above that 200-day EMA and that 5-day EMA getting ready to cross above the 20. RSI just went positive, and you can see the PMO crossover looks pretty good here. And remember, we talked about PSI looking good on that candle glance, and semiconductors. You did talk a lot about those, Mary Ellen, so I won't get too far into the weeds, but I do want to show you another way that you can find the top 10 holdings for some of your ETFs. So we'll use the symbol summary, and we'll just check what's in this PSI one. I can find my keys on my keyboard here. So you can bring up that symbol summary, and it's got lots of interesting information. If you bring up a stock, it's going to give you when the earnings dates are, that sort of thing. We get a little bit of a chart there to look at, but if you come down, it'll tell you what the stock or ETF does. So in this case, obviously, it looks at semiconductor companies, but it uses a quantitative model to select them. Now, if I want to know what's more about this one, I can just click here, and it's going to bring me to their website if my internet will cooperate. And so you can see more about this particular fund. It gives you the details. You can look at the portfolio here and see what their allocations are, including those top 10 holdings for it, or you can even view all of them if you're interested. And so that was one of the ways that I like to use that ETF sector summary, symbol summary. So again, how do I get to this? I use this symbol summary, PHI. You had one, let's see, IHI, I think was one.
Sure.
Medical devices, there we go, the iShares. And so very similar situation coming down here. I only recently discovered this, Mary Ellen, so.
I know, I'm thinking, wow, I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, so that they do this. They quietly add some of these features and you don't find them until later.
Wow.
But again, taking me to iShares, taking me to tell you, again, you can see how it's done, fund facts, not fun facts, fund facts, all about this iShares ETF. So that's one of the ways you can kind of look for them. If you want as well, we do have the ETF tracker, which is in our chart pack on StockCharts.com. If you want to get that chart pack, you do need to be an extra member or above, but you can come over here to your account. And then in there, you can see manage chart packs. And then you can download for free all of these. And I believe that the trend and condition chart pack has that ETF tracker in it. But you can check out some of our others. And the ETF tracker is certainly one of the tools I use often as well. But I think that's all the time we have for Chart Chat right now. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be back, and we're going to talk to you about our wisdom of the week. All right, we are back from our break here on Chartwise Women. We're talking all about ETFs and how you can use those to own, if you will, a basket of stocks, protect yourself from some volatility. But we want to talk about our wisdom of the week. And I will go ahead and talk about my wisdom of the week, which really just expands slightly on the theme that we have today, which is that my wisdom of the week. ETFs often will protect you against giant price swings in a volatile market. The market is volatile, and investing in ETFs can a lot of times prevent you from having to deal with some of those giant price swings that you'll get if you were to own maybe one or two stocks within an ETF. But of course, you can go in. We just showed you how you can find the top 10 holdings for some of these ETFs. You can look at what they own and make that determination. If you do want to own a couple of those stocks, you know that at least one company thinks that they're worth owning. So how about you, Mary Ellen? What is your wisdom of the week?
Wisdom of the week has to do with your ability to capitalize on sector rotation. We're in a period now where the markets are attempting to bottom out and turn higher. And by having several ETFs, we showed you that candle glance view, you can very quickly assess, is that ETF, is that area of the markets, airlines, and so on, are they on the move? And then from there, of course, decide. But sector rotation is really in full swing right now. And so using that candle glance view with those ETFs, super powerful.
Absolutely, Mary Ellen. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our action plan today. So what is your action plan?
Yeah, so my action plan is going back again to tracking those ETFs. And there is an ability in StockCharts.com to set up a chart list of those ETFs And then each day you will be emailed at the end of the day the performance of those ETFs ranked by the top performers. Super quick 10-second way to get in front of which ETFs are on the move. And if you're not into looking at it every day, you can request that list every week. And again, really helpful as far as putting you in front of areas that are trending higher and on the move. And actually, there is more that you can do. I know Erin and I speak about work that we do outside of StockCharts.com. For me, it's all about MEM Investment Research. It's powered by Simpler Trading. And I do have a twice weekly report, as also has alerts. I put out an alert report yesterday. Financials turned bullish. I added some new stocks. And you can trial that right now. We're really at a super fun, dynamic time here. Of course, tomorrow or later this week, it could get a little bit treacherous with inflation numbers being reported, but you will want to stay on top of the markets. I do have a special offer. You can trial my MEM Edge report for 4 weeks for $7, and I urge you to do so. I would be glad to share with you my many years of experience, and again, get you in front of those areas that are poised to trade higher.
All right, let me tell you all about my action plan. Thanks so much, Mary Ellen, for all that information. Today, my action plan is going to be for you to go ahead and check out that industry group summary, check out that ETF panel on the StockCharts homepage, play around with it, use the symbol summary and put the ETFs that maybe interest you in that symbol summary, pull it up, and then you can find out those holdings that are in it. And that'll give you a clue as to where the money is rotating as well. When a stock starts to get a high StockCharts technical rank, or a scooter as we call it, when a stock or ETF starts to see those higher ranks and move that quickly, that means that a lot of interest is coming in. That means that there's a lot of relative strength behind those moves for that particular ETF, or even those stocks within it. So you want to take a look at those. So before I leave, though, my marketing person will get really mad at me. Of course, that's me. If I don't tell you a little bit about my website and what I do. I know Mary Ellen gave us some great information. I am going to talk about decisionpoint.com. And here you are. I have 2 reports, the DP Alert and the Decision Point Diamonds. And Decision Point Alert is going to give you all that information you need to know as far as what's going on in the market, what does Bitcoin look like, and yields and gold and the dollar. I cover all of that every market day with all of our exclusive Decision Point indicators. And Decision Point Diamonds, for those of you who maybe want a little bit more help with picking out your stocks or ETFs, I have the Diamond Report. I give out 10 to 15 stock picks per week for you to look at. It's not a model portfolio. If you want to do that, highly recommend you go check out Mary Ellen's website. She manages a really beautiful model portfolio. My job is to show you how to analyze stocks, look for those indications that a stock is going to do well, share my analysis process, and then that will help you hone your own. And maybe a stock will give you a hint as to where you want to look as far as an ETF. And that is all we have time for today. Mary Ellen, it's been great having you here as always. And we would like to wish all our viewers a very good and happy trading week, as well as a fabulous weekend as we come up on it very soon. Happy trading.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.